monkeys.
Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls Golden, what if, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. I am back with part 2 of What If Deku had a guardian, angel, Quark, and y'all seem to enjoy the first part. I really enjoyed making the first part. Definitely a different change of pace in terms of Deku what ifs that I've done, and I've really been enjoying writing it. So I hope y'all continue to enjoy it and continue to support it as best as possible. And yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. And let's just get right into where we left off. Let's get it. Aizawa announces, well, basically they all will be in pairs. Well, except for Izuku, and they will go through this entire Quark assessment. So that's exactly what happens. Everyone does. And well, it goes pretty how you would think it would go. Bakugo passes, Todoroki would pass. Everybody that is more or less going to be at the top of the class would pass. But unfortunately, the other half would fail. Listen up. I would expel all of you, but I'm not going to. But I want you to keep this in mind as a lesson. I do have the power to do that, and I could expel you all right now if I truly wanted to. So, everybody just leave now. You're annoying the hell out of me. Everyone is scared, except for obviously the people that passed and Izuku, but luckily they're all able to leave. And they don't get expelled, so that's definitely a plus. So they head home, and the next day then arrives. And when they all arrive at UA, Aizawa begins explaining that they will be doing some hero training. Listen, it's time for hero training, but don't worry, I won't be teaching you. Someone a lot, I guess, nicer, but more annoying will be teaching you. Someone comes rushing through the door. I am here, walking through the door like a normal person. All Might is their new teacher, and everyone is super surprised. All Might? No way! And he basically tells all of them to get on their hero suits and meet him outside. And well, Izuku's hero suit is pretty simple. It's still that very mimic All Might type of suit, but obviously he needs holes for his wings and other things like that for, well, capabilities in terms of his flying. The class then meets All Might out in Ground Gamma, and he begins explaining what they're going to be doing. Listen up. This is what we're going to be doing, class. We will have 2 versus 2 matches. It will be heroes versus villains. Heroes will try to seize the bomb or capture both villains, or the villains will try to protect the bomb and capture the heroes. It's pretty simple. Now let's start off with who will go first. We will have Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka versus Katsuki Bakugo and Tenya Ida. Izuku is actually excited by this. He's been thinking about tons of plans in his head, and well, he's ready to go ahead and try to beat Bakugo. Bakugo tells him that he's not going to go easy on him just because he's some support help hero. I didn't expect you to, Kao-chan. Bakugo and Ida are then told that, well, they're the villains, so they head into the building while the heroes are given 5 minutes to plan. Uraraka asks if he has any plans, and well, he says that he can kind of fly, so they should go in from the top. She agrees and says that they can actually scout where the bomb is first as well, and if they really want, they can just go through a window. Oh, really? Do you think you can break the window? Yeah, for sure. I'll just take a heavy rock up there with my zero gravity, so we don't have to, well, carry a heavy rock with us. Oh, perfect. Let's do that. So, that's exactly what happens. The match then starts and Izuku immediately flies up. They shatter the window that the bomb's behind, and they go to capture the bomb. Luckily, Ida's able to react quick enough, kicking Izuku away. But as he's flying away, Izuku grabs Ida's leg and drags him with him as Uraraka touches Ida to make him weightless, and Izuku slams him into the wall. Uraraka then touches the bomb, and they're deemed the winners. Bakugo then runs up and tells Ida that he told him that they would most likely come through a window and that he was scouting out just in case. And Bakugo is pissed that he loses that quickly. "Don't you dare think you're better than me, you damn nerd." Hey, I didn't say anything like that, Kacchan. Don't put words in my mouth. Bakugo kind of laughs at this and pats him on the shoulder. "It was a good match, I guess." They both head back down, and All Might congratulates the winning team, saying that that was mostly flawless in terms of what they did, and Izuku is pretty good with his quirk, being that, I mean, he can fly, and he seems he can do a little bit more than just heal people. Oh, thanks, yeah. I kinda can. I didn't really get the chance to show it off, but maybe next time. All Might asks what he means by that, and Izuku explains that he has some other little things to his quirk that he can use, and that Bakugo knows about it, but he doesn't really want to reveal that until, well, the time is necessary. I see. That's pretty interesting. The rest of the matches go, well, exactly the same. There's no reason for them to go any different, and the class is then over. Izuku heads home, obviously, and explains to his mom everything that happened and how much fun he's actually having. She tells him that she knew that he would be an amazing hero, even if his quirk is based around healing. Thanks, Mom. You always believed in me. The next day then came, and well, Aizawa began explaining that, of course, hero training is part of the job in terms of hero, but rescuing is just as important, and he points at Izuku. This kid right here, Midoriya, his quirk is perfect for, well, rescue training. He can heal, he can fly, he can do all of that. I think he'll definitely be taking the forefront in terms of this. So keep that in mind. And I said to you guys before that this is important. Maybe even more important. Okay? Everyone go on the bus. Everyone nods to Aizawa and thanks him for the information. They all head on the bus, and Izuku begins twiddling his thumbs, waiting. And while during this, everyone begins asking each other who they think has the strongest quirk, and some say Bakugo, others say Todoroki, but still they don't think Izuku has an insanely powerful quirk. Yes, he can heal, yes, he can fly, but all these are temporary, and of course Izuku knows this. He has his limits just like everyone else. So does Todoroki. He can tell by Todoroki's quirk that he mostly only uses his ice side, for reasons obviously unknown to him, but Frostbite is one hell of a thing, and he's sure that without, well, heat regulation, it's not very easy. And Bakugo, he even knows Bakugo's limits, even though Bakugo has trained like crazy with him to, well, expand those things. They arrive at the USJ, and Pro Hero 13 is actually waiting for them. Uraraka begins fangirling over her, and that she says that she's her biggest fan. 13 thanks her, and she begins explaining what they will be doing. Well, that is until a giant portal opens, and one of the students by the name of Kirishima points it out. Wait, I didn't know there was going to be fake villains as well. Aizawa is confused and looks to see a giant portal, and villains are pouring out of it, including what seems to be high-level villains as well. Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and what seems to be a giant monster. So, Aizawa tells 13 to protect the students, and she nods. Aizawa drops down, and Izuku can't help to worry about that thing, the giant monster. He even whispers to Bakugo that they need to be careful, that that monster is something else, something that he for some reason feels has no human emotion anymore, is practically dead. What are you talking about? Dead? But it's walking around. Yeah, I know, but it's weird. It's like it has multiple quirks and it's brainwashed? I'm not sure, but we have to be careful. 13 tells them all to be safe, and actually this time Bakugo and Kirishima don't obviously just jump at Kurogiri. But even with that said, he still gets all of them into a portal, even with Pro Hero 13 protecting them. And Izuku, well, he appears in water. He immediately looks around to see a bunch of villains about to attack him, but luckily Tsuyu, one of his classmates, grabs him and throws him on the boat. Thanks for the save, I appreciate that. Any plans? Tsuyu was about to say the same thing to Izuku, and Mineta is basically scared shitless, shaking like crazy. Well, if you give me a second to dry off, I can probably fly us over, but you guys might be a little too heavy. I'm not sure, but I can give it a shot. Tsuyu says that it won't be a problem. He can only fly her over a certain distance and then toss her, and then she'll grab Mineta with her tongue. Oh, that sounds perfect actually. Alright, give me maybe 1 minute max. So they wait it out and basically bait the villains into waiting as well. Eventually Izuku grabs them both and takes off with his wings, obviously, and begins flying across the lake. He then throws Tsuyu as far as possible, and she grabs onto a nearby, statue and pulls herself in, then grabbing Mineta so Izuku can fly freely. They eventually get off away from it, and all the villains begin to panic, saying that this isn't going according to plan. Izuku sighs, and they throw a bunch of the sticky balls that Mineta has, and Izuku uses all his wind from his wings to gather them up slightly, and in which they all get stuck in the same place and kind of are just floating in the middle of the lake now. Well, let's see how Aizawa's doing. We have to make sure he's safe. Izuku looks over to see Aizawa actually handling the villains very easily, and he feels a lot more comfortable just leaving him to that. And as they leave though, that's not exactly what is happening anymore. Shigaraki, the main villain there, begins speaking. Kurogiri, I think it's time for the Nomu to have some fun. Nomu, go kill that man. The Nomu, a giant monster, charges at Aizawa so fast that it's hard to even tell. But Izuku can. Izuku can see Aizawa, and he flies over, grabbing him, moving him out of the way. Oh my god, these damn fake heroes. You're just a kid. You're not a hero. Aizawa thanks Izuku, but tells him to get out of here as soon as possible, which Izuku obliges and leaves when Aizawa is safe. The Nomu, though, has other plans. You know what, Nomu? Let's kill that kid with the wings. Let's clip the birdie. The Nomu charges at Izuku, grabbing him. Izuku tries to break free, but can't. But this overwhelming sensation falls over him. What is wrong with this guy? This Nomu he speaks of. What are you really? As this thought runs through his mind, the Nomu slightly hesitates, but then punches Izuku into the wall. Izuku, though, can feel that the Nomu pulled his punch. What is going on? Izuku flies over and begins putting his hand on the Nomu's head. Please relax. I'm here to help you. Don't you realize that? The Nomu looks at Izuku, but doesn't strike. Nomu, kill him! The Nomu doesn't move, and Izuku smiles. His halo begins to hover above his head, and his wings begin to grow even more, actually glowing this golden aura. Izuku begins patting the Nomu's head, as the Nomu kneels down slowly and begins to shrink. The Nomu shrinks and turns into a man. The man then passes out. What the hell is this kid? How the hell did you do that? Izuku smiles at Shigaraki. You see, a lot of heroes are different. My power is, well, to heal and to help. And that's what I did. Shigaraki smiles. Wow, you're an interesting one. Kurogiri, it's time to go. But we'll keep an eye on you, kid. We'll be seeing you very soon. They leave, and Izuku actually slightly falls on the ground. Okay, I know I was acting all high and mighty there, but I'm tired. That was unexpected. He looks at the man. The man is passed out, but he has a weird feeling that this man was practically dead. He was not there. He wasn't present when the Nomu was fighting them. Even Aizawa questions how Izuku knew the man was within the Nomu. I don't even know. I really don't. I'm just lucky that it worked out that way, because it's not like anybody would have been able to handle it. Like if I would have taken that Nomu down easily. Yeah, okay, Kacchan. Izuku falls to the ground, but Bakugo catches him. Good job, you damn nerd. Izuku is out cold for a couple days. He overused his quirk a lot. Just that alone would have basically put him out of commission. Actually, he's out of commission so long that he doesn't even get to be in the UA Sports Festival. He's out for more or less a whole week. They get multiple days off, but unfortunately Izuku is stuck out cold, sleeping. And Recovery Girl is getting more and more worried because, well, the halo above his head is slowly but surely fading. The color is turning this white color. But luckily, Izuku wakes up soon after the UA Sports Festival. The Recovery Girl runs over and says that she's glad to see that he's awake, and how's he feeling? Oh, I feel fine. What happened? How long was I out? She tells him that he was out for, well, a whole week. A whole week? How was I out for a whole week? I've never been out for a whole week. Did that really take that much out of me? Recovery Girl nods, saying that she's never seen something like this before. All his scans were saying that he was fine, but he wasn't waking up. It was like he used so much of his own life energy to change the Nomu or something. Life energy, huh? Maybe that's it, Recovery Girl. Maybe that's how my quirk works in a way. I'm not sure, but let's just hope for the best, and hopefully I won't overdo myself again like that. But it was really the only way I could see, well, to help everybody. Recovery Girl smiles and says that without him, everyone would have definitely got hurt. So she's glad that he did it, just to be more careful next time. He nods and begins to head out, but Recovery Girl begins explaining that he kind of missed a lot. He missed, well, the UA Sports Festival, and, well, they're already 1 day into internships. 1 day into No, it's not good. Recovery Girl smiles and says that it'll be just fine, and that, well, Aizawa supposedly has an internship for him. Oh, really? Oh, that's perfect. Izuku runs back to class, and Aizawa's actually waiting. Oh, kid, you're awake. Why didn't Recovery Girl call me? Oh, I just woke up, so I ran over. I heard internships were already started, and I missed so much. Kid, you were out cold, like in a coma, a whole week? You're fine. And actually, I have an internship for you. Oh, really? Who's it with? It's with me. You're serious? That's awesome. I would love to work with you. Good, because it's not like you have any more internships. Izuku kind of laughs at this and goes with Aizawa, and, well, they begin their training. Izuku continues, well, basically training with Aizawa for a while until the internships are over, or, well, until they get news of something. Tenya Ida was put in the hospital because of the hero killer, Stain. Severely injured and practically on the bridge of death. Izuku doesn't hear about this for a while, eventually hearing about it from Aizawa, and Aizawa begins asking him if it's possible for him to heal him. It may be, but I've never healed someone that much. I'm not Recovery Girl. I haven't had that much experience with that. Kid, I think your healing is stronger than hers, far stronger than hers. I think you're far stronger than some pros at this point. Would you be interested in giving it a try? Yeah, of course, anything. So that's what they do. He brings Izuku to Tenya, and, well, his family is sitting around him, and they're sobbing, seeing their young boy almost at the bridge of death. Izuku comes over. A halo appears over his head, and wings begin sprouting. They look at him in shock. They think that he's some angel, and Izuku just smiles. I guess that's kind of what I am. Izuku touches Tenya on the head, and he begins healing. The wounds that he had begin healing as well, and Tenya just doesn't wake up though. He's still asleep. I'm sorry, I can't wake him up. He needs some time to rest. And frankly, I'm not in the best position because of my quirk overusage. So that's the best I can do. But I can tell you that all his wounds are fully healed, but he'll be asleep from 3 to 5 more days. all of them then hug Izuku and say that he's really some guardian angel. That did he come down from heaven or something? He begins laughing. Definitely not heaven. I did this with my mother when I was a young child. She was stabbed and I healed her. So stab wounds are something I'm very knowledgeable in, if you could say. They thank him and they're crying on his shoulder, and they say that they'll do anything and that they'll do anything to repay him. And Izuku says that it's just fine, that he is his classmate and that it's honestly his duty to help wherever he can. Izuku then leaves and Aizawa pats him on the head. You really are something, kid. I'm just doing what anybody else would do, right? Aizawa smiles. Yeah, anybody else would do. Sure. He takes him away and they head back to class. For, well, obviously the next couple days, Tenya is gonna be in the hospital, but Izuku basically takes extra notes for him just in case, and they begin studying for, well, the final exam. The final exam is two parts. They have the written exam and the practical, and Aizawa makes this very apparent and says that don't worry about Tenya, that he will have a test postponed later. Okay, listen up. Your written exam is tomorrow. Be ready for it. Make sure you're studied. Make sure you get some rest. Okay? And then right after is your practical. Just be ready. Can't tell you what's going to be on the practical, but just be prepared for the unexpected, you could say. So, class ends, and the next day, the written portion of the final exam happens. Izuku does it pretty easily. I mean, he kind of took double notes in a way, and he had a good amount of time to study, and he even studied with Bakugo and Kirishima, and he, well, helped Kirishima a little bit more than Bakugo would, because Izuku doesn't like his, mean version of studying. So, after they're done with that, the final exam for the practical is announced. And, well, everyone is given their match. Until the last two people were Izuku and Bakugo. Sensei, you didn't forget about us, right? Of course not. I would never forget about you guys. Actually, the person you're fighting should be here right about now. All Might then comes crashing in. I am here, and I will be your opponent. Izuku smiles, and so does Bakugo. Now this should be fun. Couldn't agree more, you damn nerd. And that is a wrap for part 2 of What If Deku Had a Guardian Angel Quirk. And I promise this next part 3, is going to be insane. So make sure to leave a like, sub, all that good stuff. And be ready for part 3. I hope y'all enjoyed part 2. This has been a pretty fun What If for me. Very different. I mean, Guardian Angel obviously is a different type of quirk that I've ever done. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.